An showdown was witnessed today in the National Assembly as members of Parliament debated on the amendment of various bills. Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah moved a procedural motion regarding the extension of the sitting time of the House until the conclusion of business, which was approved by Speaker and majority members of the House. Our reporter Tess Njenga with the story.
Of the budget statement on the consideration of a finance bill.
The Committee of the Whole National Assembly this afternoon embarked on the amendment of clauses in the Finance Bill 2023. Members of Parliament have approved the amendment of various clauses in the Finance Bill after the Speaker Moses Wetangula allowed a debate on highly contested clauses. Among the contested clauses voted on were the Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill, County Allocation of Revenue Bill, among others.
Section 39 of the Public Finance Act 2012 requires the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury to submit the finance bill before 30th April every year and that the bill be passed before the end of the financial year on 30th June. The section governs the manner in which a finance bill ought to be introduced, considered, and passed by the House. 2. It is a canon of statutory interpretation that when faced with conflicting provisions, preference must be given to a specific provision as opposed to a general provision. Additionally, the last-in-time principle where the most recent addition to a statute is given precedence over a provision that was enacted earlier should be applied.
The vote went on amidst challenges in electronic voting as some members from the opposition demanded to vote manually. Ultimately, the House resolved to vote through roll call with individual members' names being called out.
Proceed. Thank you, Chair. Chair, what we have agreed is that there are certain clauses that we are going to vote electronically and there are major clauses that we have to vote physically. So the issue of VAT, the issue of housing is physical.
Of the time that we actually tried to vote digitally, Madam Speaker, it has not been successful. I'm wondering whether it is a coincidence, Madam Speaker, because this House has invested colossal amounts of money in making sure that we are able to vote efficiently and especially digitally.
Earlier, Member of Parliament for Suna East constituency, Jeanette Mohammed, claimed that some counties that had not qualified for the marginalised fund were now seeking to benefit from the same.
On the amendment, and you also vote for the deletion, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, deletion of clauses have been a tradition in this House, Mr. Speaker. The clerk here, before he became the clerk, he was the director of legislation and this other thing, what's called what? Legislation and procedure. And Mr. Speaker has been approving deletions for the last 15 years I've been here, or 10 years I've been here. Delete this, delete that. Why is deletion becoming an issue today?
While addressing the House-nominated Member of Parliament John Mbadi criticised the 2023-2024 budget, terming it ambitious. Mbadi said that it is unlikely that the revenue projections given will be achieved.
We need to be clear that if this provision in the Constitution talks about Assembly may proceed only in accordance with the recommendation of the relevant committee of the Assembly, there should be a report from the committee on each and every proposed amendment so that members proposing amendments, Mr. Speaker, are not disadvantaged. It should not be left at the whim of the clerk or even the Speaker, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, by the way, you only have the authority, in your opinion, to determine whether it is a money bill. But as to whether the House should proceed, that is now supposed to come from the committee.
Azimio Oka, which is opposed to the bill as it is, has warned of possible mass protests if the bill was passed without amendments. Reporting for Hope TV News Watch, I'm Tess Njenga.